Things American schools taught us that turned out to be wrong. Number one, Columbus discovered America. He never set foot on North American soil. He landed in the Bahamas, visited Cuba, visited Hispaniola, and died still believing he had sailed all the way to Asia. Leif Erikson reached North America 500 years before Columbus ever left port. And indigenous people had already been living here tens of thousands of years before either man showed up. So stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to realize they taught you wrong about Columbus on purpose. And once you hear what else got left out of the story, you'll never look at the founding of America the same way again. So here's the version we got in school. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Then the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth in 1620. Then Jamestown. Then the country as we know it began. But that timeline skips almost 100 years. Because nearly a century before the Pilgrims ever boarded the Mayflower, black men were already standing on this land. And they were not passengers. In 1513, a free black man named Juan Garrido walked onto the coast on what is now Florida alongside Ponce de Leon. That's over 100 years before Plymouth Rock. Garrido had already crossed an ocean, fought in expeditions across the Caribbean, helped explore parts of what is now Mexico, before the Founding Fathers' story even begins. By 1565, Spanish colonists built a permanent settlement in St. Augustine, Florida. Free and enslaved black Americans were a part of that settlement from the very beginning. That is 42 years before Jamestown, 55 years before Plymouth. St. Augustine is the oldest continuously occupied European settlement in what is now the United States, and foundational black Americans were there for it. Decades before the story most of us were handed even starts. So this was never just about Columbus getting it wrong. It is about a pattern. Leave out the real timeline, simplify the story, start it wherever it's easiest to explain. But once you leave out the beginning, you leave out the people who were there for it. Foundational black Americans were not written into this country's origin story after the fact. Because the odds are your ancestors were here before this country even was named America. And they were the foundation who built America. So unless you know you're an African, you're a foundational black American, whether you like it or not.